What's going on, YouTube? It's Brendan from Market Makers. Sorry for the late update today. I kind of lost my voice this morning. Been making a lot of videos for the room and for YouTube the last couple of days. So let's jump into the Bitcoin price action because we have bullish patterns, we have bearish patterns. Who is going to win? Is the Grinch going to win or is Santa Claus going to win? Guys, if you like this video, please go ahead and smash the like button if you like me to tell it like it is. And I would love to see you guys join our Discord group. We are running a very special New Year's sale all the way to the end of the year, guys. You can download Discord. The link is in the video description. Message Lee. He will message you and he will hook you up at the New Year's special. So guys, come check us out. No risk, no obligation. Blockchain updates every single day, TA updates every single day, and trade signals when we do trade, because me and my professional staff, we are traders and we trade these trades ourselves. We give you the trades that we trade. So guys, let's go ahead and look at the Bitcoin price action. So yesterday's video, we went over the EMA death cross. I'm not going to dwell on it in this video because I want to show the bullish patterns as well. If you missed it, guys, check out yesterday's video. But a couple of things I want to show you. We did break out from this falling wedge. We were talking about yesterday, is it a falling wedge or descending triangle? We did break out from the falling wedge. Here's our price target, 52.5. Pretty much an underperformance in my opinion at this point. We did get a little bit of bullish momentum, but nothing great. So this is the 21 EMA. You can see it's being used as resistance. The 233 is cutting through the base of the candle, okay? And again, we went over fib time yesterday. The 618 occurs December 23rd. What is fib, guys? Fib points are nothing but pivot points, potential pivot points for price. Price could pivot up, price could pivot down. So we want to see what happens on the 23rd. Will this cross still occur on the 23rd? I don't know, because Bitcoin did pump up. As you can see, it's contacting the 21 now, which is being used as resistance. If price pivots down, it very well likely could cross. If price pivots up, it may be delayed. I think either way it's going to cross because of the dissension that you have, the momentum from the dissension. These are lagging indicators, okay? So you could still get a relief rally. You could get Bitcoin pumping up and have the death cross still occur at the same time. You don't know, okay? Because last time I showed you in trend, June 6th, we got the death cross, the EMA death cross, and 10 days later, we had a major relief rally, and then price fell 30%, okay? So these things are delayed indicators, but it is good to know if it does cross, how deep is that cross? Is it going to go really deep, or is it just going to go slightly shallow and loop back up? These things matter. But I want you to take a visual picture of this with your mind, okay? 21 being used as resistance, 233 cutting across. The reason I want to show you that is because I want to show you what the simple moving averages look like. Remember, these are weighted differently, okay? So this is a simple moving average 20 and the 200. So the 20, you've already pumped through the 20. You see this? You're potentially going to close above the 20, and the 200 is already down here. So you've already gotten through these two resistances. These also look like they're going to cross. They just look too close together not to be able to cross. If you were going to get some type of parabolic price action on Bitcoin, which doesn't look likely right now, but if you were to get it, you could have an EMA repel. That is when the EMA bounces off. The smaller EMA at 21 could bounce off the 233 and repel up, but you would really need to see price. I mean, there's no way to measure it. It'd just be 100% a guess, but you need to see price really go parabolic for that to happen, okay? Because you have to have this thing loop back up chasing after the price, right? So that's what would have to happen. But let's go ahead and advance this. So here we are on the weekly time frame. We have our weekly Navarro pattern, and I went ahead and took the pitchfork off because the fib lays out. I'm using the trend-based fib. It lays out much nicer. You can see the 618, right? Key, the inverse to the golden ratio, key Fibonacci ratio, and you can see price just resting on it for support. So this is bullish as long as you can hold this, okay? If you don't hold this and you start slipping down, you potentially break that head and shoulders, and again, you just be making a series of lower highs after relief rallies, dead cat bounces, etc., etc. That could go on for many weeks. Doesn't have to happen, okay? Doesn't mean you're going to drop in a straight line. If you did lose this and you did break a head and shoulders, it could take many weeks and months to actually get to a dissension down to the bottom here. It is important to note you do have confluence with the 1618, the golden ratio, and we went over this yesterday, 10,630. A head and shoulders break, 10,781. And again, the PRZ for this pattern before price turns back up is 10,871. So at the end of the day, market maker's prediction, when the market is done, whatever that is, 6 months from now, 9 months from now, 9 weeks from now, when the market is done, I do believe you're going to hit around this number because there's too much confluence in market symmetry telling me that, okay, as a Fibonacci trader. But I want to show you, let's go ahead and move forward, daily time frame. So we did break out of that falling wedge. Again, when you look at it zoomed out on the daily candles, it's just not a big move yet, right? So your current trend being bearish, obviously you had this dump, your current trend is bearish, your primary trend is still bullish, which is why we're going to talk about the three valleys pattern again. But as you can see, we talked about this yesterday, you cannot break this 0.5 fib. You tried twice and you haven't checked it again since December 8th, okay, 13 days ago. It's been 13 days since you've revisited this 0.5 fib, making a series of lower highs until this candle. You defeated a couple of the previous candles, but you still have higher highs in this bearish trend that you have to get past, and you got to get past this 0.5 fib at 50,205. Again, like I said, I'm just a little bit disappointed we weren't able to do that. Now let's look at where our volatility and resistance is above us as well. Pull this down so you can see it. So we did get one volatility line below us. The volatility is very important, guys, because volatility is a separation of candles, okay? So you want to be above volatility to get healthy moves up. When you fall below it, you can get these big moves down, okay, like this. You get knifing moves down. You want to get knifing moves up. So for me to get really bullish, I've said this before, on Bitcoin, I want to be above 59,265. You get above 59,265, price comes up, get above this pink line here. You are bullish. You're back in that upper quadrant. This could just be a retracement. You're back in the upper quadrant with the ability to make new all-time highs. You stay down here, you're below a lot of resistance, which is not a healthy thing. And let me go ahead and turn that off. You can see this on the Keltner channel as well. Let's go ahead and look at this. On the Keltner channel, you're riding the bottom of the Keltner channel. You see this? Your median line is right here. So this, in other words, for you to get green, just to get an upward trend, you got to get above this median line, which is around 52.5, 52.9, just depends where you put your cursor. But you need to get above that just to be in a bullish trend, because right now you're still in a descending bearish trend, even with this breakout. Okay, you see that when you zoom out and look at it, yes, we did move up a little bit, but it's still in a bearish trend, hence the red candles. Okay, so let's go ahead and move forward. The three valleys pattern, guys. The three valleys pattern, I get asked about this. It's 100% valid. This is a very bullish pattern with a market structure target of 108, 109K Bitcoin. What a Christmas present that could be if you could get a nice Santa rally, right? But, you know, I haven't been talking about it a lot because we haven't made a lot of progress. Prices over here at 49K. So we are holding this pattern still. We're still in Valley 3. Valley 2 is what we cannot lose, which is 39K. We cannot lose 39K, but this is a valid pattern. It's a market maker's pattern that we brought to the YouTube space. We got some shout outs for it and really appreciate those shout outs. And my admin has been tracking this early on. Mark, he does awesome TA. He's a professional trader. He is also in the room. So guys, let's look at this. Let's zoom in here and see what we can see. Let's do some TA in the 4-hour time frame, okay? Very important time frame for patterns and everything else. So 4-hour time frame, again, we broke out of our falling wedge. We are hitting our head just shy of 49.6, as you can see. It is a nice little move up. I want to see more of a move up. As you can see, we did have that volatility compression pattern going on. I've been talking about 11%. This is a separation of candles. 11% down to 8%, down to 5.74%. I told you we may not have another wave, or we could get a smaller wave. And of course, we broke out like a coiled spring, right? That's what compression does. You tighten price, you hit that volatility, and then you bounce up. So when you look at this on your indicators, you can see this right here. Volatility was descending. You can see the waves, right? The volatility is descending, 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 and then it's not. It bounces back up. But you can even see in the volatility how small this move was. Even that bounce up out of the wedge was small. What you want, look at these moves. You want these moves like off the dump, okay? Look at the volatility of that move. So the guy, Wells invented this indicator. It's the ATR. You guys see me talk about it all the time and use it all the time. Wells also invented the RSI, and I guarantee you most of you use the RSI. The ATR is phenomenal. It's one of my favorite indicators. It's on every single chart, including all my Forex trades that I do, okay? Measuring volatility to separation of candles is very important because you come to a baseline and you can get an explosion, and that's how you capture these big moves like this for that that big dump candle, okay? You hit your baseline and bam, you bounce up. Marry it to your volume. You can see the volume constrict and then boom, shoot down. You see it in my accumulation distribution indicator, and I see it in my oscillator as well for PVT, okay? So this is something that I track very closely. Let's go ahead and throw some indicators on here. Let's see where we're at with some support and resistance using some other indicators. I want to see what Ichi's doing. Let's check Ichi out real quick. If we're above the cloud, below the cloud, what's going on here? Wow, trading view slow. Come on. It's not that resource intensive. All right, there we go. So we're near the top of the cloud, which is expected to find resistance. This is your resistance cloud, these raspberry colored clouds, okay? All Ichi is for any of the new subs, it shows you support and resistance in the shape of a cloud. Instead of having a bunch of lines, it shows it in the shape of a cloud. My moving average on this particular modified indicator, which is done by one of the best programmers in TradingView, Donovan Wall, he uses a cloud moving average for Ichi as well. And we did get above the moving averages, hence they're turning green. But our cloud, we are in the cloud, and we're having problems with this resistance level of 49.6 at the moment, okay? Go ahead and turn that off. Let's look at our ATR trend lines. Let's see what we're doing here. So if our ATR trend lines or volatility trend lines married to pivot points, you can see price is above the volatility trend line, which is good, but you're in this little sandwich right here. So we're trying to see if we can bust out of this or not, okay? ATR, everything I trade is basically married to volatility or volume, okay? That's how I trade. VTV, volatility, trend, and volume is how I trade, and I find it to be a very lucrative way of trading. Let's look at... Is there anything else that I want to show you on here? Let me look at my ATR buy sell. If we're in a green trend yet. Just about to get into a green trend, but we need to get up a little bit higher. Everything's still red, as you can see. So, all right, let's go ahead and go to the 1 hour time frame, see what we can see. So the 1 hour time frame, where are we hitting our head? You can see a little bit differently here. So we caught a bearish pattern. This is a Navarro pattern. We caught a bearish pattern. It has an extension that comes up here, obviously, but we caught a bearish pattern here. We got to our 1 fib, okay, using the trend-based fib. We got to our 1 fib, got rejected. Tried it twice more, got rejected, retraced. I guess it's about a 1,300 point drop between the peak and the trough. And then we got this nice pump back up. Got above it, got rejected by GAN, and then we closed above it. So we have this little baby candle right now. You see this? This little baby candle. We'll see what happens with that candle. I don't know if that's going to close above it or if it's going to retrace. And this looks, hold on. We may have a little guest visiting us here. Let me see what we have here. Might be able to explain this drop. Oh. Let me put that up there. This looks, yeah, you got a black swan. So you have a black swan, my favorite pattern to trade. Guys in the room know that. This is what's causing your price drop right now. So guys, when I say this pattern's causing the price drops, just so people understand that aren't Fibonacci pattern traders, price moves in patterns, okay, and patterns repeat themselves. So all these pictures do, these images, is it gives you a visual representation of this certain set of price moves, and these patterns have names. This is a black swan. So it's a black swan because of the exact shape and the Fibonacci measurements in these specific points, okay? So it's a way of tracking price movement in patterns is to draw a shape. These shapes have names. Some patterns are really strong. Other patterns are not very well known and nobody knows how effective they are. It's all part of Fibonacci pattern trading. I've been doing this for over 20 years. So I tend to trade a certain set of patterns. So does Mark, that we know can make a lot of money. Black Swan is one of those patterns. You're getting a little bit of a price drop. This is a 1 hour time frame. Patterns matter in strength as far as the time frame. The larger the time frame, the more strength the pattern will have. So this will be something interesting to watch tomorrow when we wake up if we get some retracement based off this Black Swan, or if price is able to continue to move up. We shall see. All right, guys, that's your video today. If you haven't liked the video, please do so. Please subscribe. Hope you guys are enjoying a nice holiday week. I don't know what to anticipate from Bitcoin this week, to be completely fair. You know, like I said, the volume could be low because of what this week is. You know, on the banking side in the stock market, a lot of us, including myself, I always took the last couple weeks off of the year. So we'll see what happens in the crypto space. We'll see what happens in the stock market. Pro trade video coming out too, guys. Please check that out. Please like that video as well. Talk to you guys soon. Happy trading.